Welcome to this very special event this evening. Does anybody remember the title, the theme this evening? Pouring love into the cup of family. We're actually marking two international days. One is the International Day of Family and International Day of for Tea. So we spotted this while we were selecting the themes, and we thought it would be nice to honor this because most people like tea, one form or the other, regular tea, rooibos, herbal tea, this variety of tea. And so we have a family here from our center in South Hall to share their thoughts. All of them have been meditating. Geetha Ben is with us, and Rithvik and Rishika. So for 20 years plus, younger ones have been meditating from very little age when they were quite small. So Geetha is from travel industry, and Rithvik is into IT, and Rishika into logistics, and how they blend spirituality in their daily life and also serve the community wholeheartedly. So without a further ado, I request you to come. It will be a conversation within the family. Even the father is on this meditation path, but he's not with us today. At least we are fortunate to have three of them. Over to you.
Hi everyone. Can I first ask everyone to come maybe to the middle so it's more of a conversation and so we can all get involved? Is that okay? You can just come to the front. Don't be shy. We don't bite. Thank you. Okay, so I guess we'll begin with some introductions and starting off with the topic as well. So, hi everyone. My name is Rishika. And as Dr. Ben introduced, I'm part of the logistics industry, but my background is mainly in mathematics. And today we're going to go into the cup of love and going into more details about how do I fill myself with that love before pouring it into the family. We do the intros and then we can do an icebreaker. So, yeah, do you guys want to do a quick intro?
But still, hello everyone. Nice to see you all today, and thanks for coming today, taking our time on a Tuesday evening, maybe after work or from home, whatever it is, you still have to complete your daily chores, and you're here. So thank you for that. And yes, I'm Geetha, and as Dakshaban introduced, all my life I've been in travel. I'm still into travel aviation, and I also work with local community in the mental and physical well-being.
Hi everyone, my name is Rithvik, and for my day-to-day professional job at the moment, I'm in IT, and I've just recently entered into this field. So I used to do shift work, and now my routine is pretty much Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And apart from my 9 to 5 work, I enjoy meditating, I enjoy going for runs and doing other fitness activities as well.
So we're going to kick off with a quick icebreaker. So people might have had a long day, gone to work. So this is to kind of like wake you up and make it a bit more interactive. So this icebreaker is inspired by the fact that it's to do with pouring the cup and filling the cup. So we're going to try and identify what your partner's favorite drink is to have in a cup. And you only have three closed questions to ask. So it's a yes or a no. So we're going to give you a quick demo of how you can ask these questions. So, Anna, do you want to show
Yeah.
quick?
So by partner, it's just the person sitting next to you. Maybe find someone random, and it's just a fun little activity. So my first question is your favorite drink hot or cold?
It has to be a closed question. So, yes or
Okay.
no?
Oh, okay. So then I will change that to, is your favorite drink hot?
Yes.
Okay. Is the drink, does the drink contain caffeine?
No.
Okay. So can I, if I think of an answer, can I just say, is it this?
No. So you'll get 1 minute to do the question and answer, and at the end of the 1 minute, you'll find out what the favorite drink
Okay.
is.
Well, does your drink contain chocolate?
Yes.
Is your favorite drink hot chocolate?
Yeah, with oat milk.
With oat milk, okay.
So yeah, so it might be a little bit harder with somebody that you don't know. So for those new person that just come in, we're doing an icebreaker. You want to try and find a partner, maybe this gentleman here. You have 3 questions to ask and find out what his favorite drink is, and it has to be yes or no questions. So I'm gonna.
And then you can swap sides,
Yeah.
and
then you can swap and find out the other person's favorite drink. So we're gonna give you 2 minutes in total to try and find out what your partner's favorite drink is. Is everyone happy to do that? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we'll give you 2 minutes starting from now. You can move around, talk. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, those online can also do this with whoever they're with, their friends or family. Okay, we're going to give you 10 more seconds to wrap up the conversations. And maybe now you guys can reveal what the favorite drink was. So how many? Oh, yeah. Now you can tell each other what your favorite drink is. Okay. So how many were able to guess what the favorite drink was of their partners? Nice. Were you guys able to guess what your partner's favorite drink was? No? Were you able to guess what the favorite drink? Yes. Okay, very good. Very good. So I guess from this exercise, the purpose of it was to see how well am I good at asking questions and listening to the answer and not just thinking about the questions that I'm asking, and how well do I think about understanding the person in front of me. So with the conversations us 3 had, we also asked each other's favorite drinks as well. And I actually just found out that it's coconut water because he likes lots of different drinks. So I honestly just gave up. I was like, I don't know what it's going to be. So I think it's the fact of being understanding and persistent, I guess. So I hope you all enjoyed the icebreaker and those watching online. And now we are going to go into the topic of pouring love into the cup of the family. So I'd like to start off with a very practical question. So when I begin to think about a cup, how do I need to fill it up? I need to firstly be able to be full myself in order to pour into the cup. If you think practically, you need a jug of water or a jug of whatever it is you're trying to pour in to fill that cup. So shall we go into how do we fill ourselves with this love that we want to pour into the family? Do you guys want to start? Should I start? Okay, so I guess I can start. So for me, filling myself with love looks like caring, and giving myself grace. And that can look different to everyone. And I think everyone receives and feels love in different ways. But for myself, it's really caring and taking care of my body, not just physically, but also mentally. And some of the things that I do to fill myself up is I actually got into running before he did. And it was actually something that I used to do since I was young. I used to do cross country, but mainly as like a competitive sport. But I enjoyed the feeling of the wind flying behind me while I was running for really extended periods of time. And I recently just picked it up, and it's something that has made me feel very grounded and also loved, because I'm doing it to relax my mind and to just think things through and just be one with nature. I always like running outside and looking at things and feeling grateful for the nature that we have and just breathing in fresh air. I think that really helps. Um, so yeah, that's one of the things that I do to fill up my cup of love. And I give myself grace. How do I give myself grace? Whenever I feel like I'm doing something and I put a lot of pressure on myself, and the outcome is not exactly what I want it to be, it's not at that level, um, it, it's so natural to go into a self-critical spiral. And giving myself grace, I know that I've tried my best, and having that kind of like self-reflection, I'm grateful for what efforts I've put in. I'm happy with this, and this is how it was meant to be. And being okay with that is something that I've recently started practicing and giving myself grace. So, and I think that is something that had been embedded into me since I was young. So being into that, going into that reflective state, I guess you can call it meditative as well, where you connect with yourself to reflect and allow yourself to just be. So that's how I fill myself up. So one kind of physical thing and also something mental that kind of is always there in the background. Do you guys want to share how you fill your?
Yeah, sure. So mine might be a little bit similar to yours, but with probably some slight differences. So how I like to fill my cup is by taking a step back in different, or whenever I feel like I need it. So one example is in a work setting. So as I've just started this new job, for example, and for me, it's not just any new job, it's like a whole lifestyle change, because I'm no longer doing shift work and I'm back to I'm at a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday kind of work environment. And it's not just that, but it's a whole field change as well. So I'm starting from scratch. And I think naturally, when I start from scratch, or perhaps maybe some of you can relate, is we try to be a bit harsh on ourselves, in the sense we try to like just take on everything on board, and maybe even take too much more than what our plate can hold, because we just want to go ahead and get hands on into whatever it is that we're doing, right? So from my experience, I found that I was pressurizing myself, even though people were telling me, "Oh, take it slow, take it step by step." And so then the first few days, that's when I noticed that, okay, bless you. The first few days, I noticed that there's actually a lot more than what I thought that I need to learn, you know? And so then that's when I realized, okay, now I really need to actually like take a step back, because yes, perhaps I think I can learn quickly, but is that really the best and most efficient way? I mean, what about balance? What about after work? When I go home, and am I doing, let's say, some chores at home that I've been tasked to do, but am I delaying those? So then I'm impacting like my mom's day, or my sister's, or my dad's, like their day, the quality of the day that they're having, right? So that's when taking a step back for me mattered the most. And I think sometimes it's harder to take a step back than in other scenarios, but by practicing taking steps back frequently, it's easier to do so in some scenarios than others. And so this I picked up from practicing Rajyoga meditation. So meditation has taught me to withdraw myself and to go inwards. to turn inwards and to find the solutions from within, instead of constantly looking for something or someone to solve an obstacle or problem. And yeah, so just that spiritual example, I've kind of just transferred it into like a practical environment or practical setting. And that seems to be working well for me. And so since I've taken a step back, I've had a better view of my learning curve in this case. And so then I was better able to prioritize what I needed to do on a day-to-day basis. Because I just thought that maybe my workplace was being very nice to me and telling me to slow down and not do any work that they're doing. But I really wanted to just go ahead and do the work that they were doing, you know? But then I realized, okay, but I have to get up to speed with things, like learn some tools maybe or some softwares and that kind of thing. So just in that sense, it just really made me ground myself into, you can say, this is really nice quote, is to like sharpen your tool before you use it. So when you're using it with efficiency. So it's not just like, it's not just blunt in that sense. So that's one thing that I've been practicing to fill my cup with love. And again, it is pouring love into myself. And that is by releasing some, maybe it is expectation of the self, and that which turns to pressure. And yes, there is a famous quote that says, pressure can turn you to diamond, which is true, but not over pressure. You pressurize it way too much, then it breaks. Yeah, thank you.
I really like the diamond example.
Yeah.
Diamonds are made under pressure, but too much pressure can.
Yeah.
Mum, what about you? How
Yeah,
do you feel your
That's
cup?
interesting to know about Rithvik and Rishika's. And can you believe at home, I don't think we had this type of conversations. It's nice to know from them. This is what they've been doing to fill the cup of love in the family. For me, what I can say, like since I started practicing meditation, Rajyoga meditation, and the practice, especially where feeling myself in morning meditation, that has helped me. Because prior to that, when I was not meditating, when I was not it's okay. Yeah. So then, yeah, of course, there was love in the family, but then the whole day it used to get dilated, and sometimes there are breaks in the cup, and then I don't see love in the whole day, and then something else takes the place of the love. But since I made this practice firm within me that yes, I have to fill my cup with love, and that would be early morning. And that is by connecting to the Supreme God. And I really experienced powerful experiences about this in the morning hours, just connecting to God, who is ocean of love. And then I can see that it is a kind of in my language of Sanskrit, it's called like Akshay Patra. You know, it's a vessel that it would never get empty. It's always there. So it's something like that for me, that when I'm filling it in the morning, then it always stays in the cup. It never gets less, and the quantity of it, it's always full. So that's what I have experienced. And okay, so now I have filled myself in the morning, connecting to God, who is ocean of love. And now the cup is full of love the whole day, and not necessarily there will be some buttons pushing here and there. Okay, you got this love and some kind of test papers, I can say. So how is that I am responding or reacting to that? Is my love still there for the whole day, for the situations, for the people? Or is it less? Or maybe it becomes opposite sometimes. So how is it? And so checking myself. So the other few practices which I took from over the period of time, that's one very thing which I took and practiced was as expectations, was Rithvik was saying. So no expectations. It does come when you're in family. You do have expectations that yes, it would be so good if Rithvik can do some work, if Rishika can do the table cleaning or something, a house chores, a little small things. But then practicing that, okay, I'm not expecting this. And then what is the practice then at that time? If I'm not expecting, what is that I can fill in that gap? There should be something, isn't it? Otherwise, how do I change my thought over there? So just reflecting this particular scene, what I have done is my mind, I kept free from questions. And when I kept free from questions, and also the spiritual practice that everyone is a peaceful being. So that helped me too. And it was actually a magic when Rishika, especially a teenager in school, high school. And so my practice was actually just looking at like as a peaceful being. And that has helped me, and it has helped her as well. And I can feel that we had a very good bondage in that time. Because, you know, as a teenage girl, there's studies, of course, there's quite a few things going on. Yeah, and I felt that it was a very good bonding, and the practices has helped me a lot. So that's one thing which I can say. Yeah, of course, we are best friends now. We are best friends. I can share everything with Rishika, and she can also share everything with me. And how old are you now? Okay, fine. So even if you say that, nobody would believe that. Yeah, you still look to be 60 years old. 16. Okay, so that was about, and there's one more thing which I would like to add to this. So, shall I go to the next question? Yeah, so it was about, okay, I've got the cup of love with me, and then how is that I'm just going to, how is the cup stable on a surface?
Yep. So going on to the next phase of pouring into my cup, whenever you pour something in, you need to make sure that there is a stable surface to pour it in. Like you can't put it on like a very soft bed and then try and pour it in. It probably will fall over, or a very unstable surface. So the next key thing to do when you're pouring something in is to have some sort of stability, some sort of stable surface, so you know that it's going to go where it's supposed to go and it's received well. So we can go on to the next question, which is how do you maintain that stability so you can pour your love into something?
Yeah. I was reflecting on this, the stability of the cup. So what is that which makes unstable surface in life? If you save the whole day, for example, if I pick up a particular day, so in a family, it would be emotions, isn't it? So it would be emotions. So how is that I'm going to balance emotions? And so there is all these quotients we speak about, IQ and then EQ. And the introduction of SQ in our lives, I would say, has really helped us a lot.
What is SQ?
Yeah, so the SQ, it is not a IT package. It is a spiritual quotient. Yeah. So the spiritual quotient has really helped. And how did it help? It taught me having balance in life. So if you see a seesaw, then just balancing in family, okay, I've got love at one side. And so what is that I need on the other side? So if I have too much love over kids, which I had before, so that is an attachment, isn't it? So what can balance love? What do you think about it? What can balance love? What should I have? Because too much love is an attachment, and attachment will carry pain and sorrow at one point of time. So what is that I need? What do you think? I have to be loving, but I should balance it with? Sorry? Self-love? Yeah, self-love, definitely. So I was also thinking about detachment. So if you think it's a seesaw here, this end, I've got love, and to balance it is detachment. Then it can actually be like this. Otherwise, if it's too much of love, the seesaw will go at one side. And if it's too much of detachment, it's going to go at that side. So it's not too much of love, and it's not too much of detachment, but I actually kept a balance of it, of both of that. And so what helped me in this particular scene was this very thought when they were actually small. So I always thought I saw them as God's sweet children. And so that helped me to keep love and detachment. It was a balance for me. Otherwise, if you see children, now I know they have grown up, the teenage, and now they're studying. Otherwise, there's always in mom's mind, oh, now what would happen? Even if they go on trips somewhere or some anywhere. So because I'm not that much used to PGLs and going away, like I come from India, so we didn't have that many of the trips for children. But here you have a lot of trips in schools, starting from primary schools. I still remember Rishika had a maths club. Yeah, and then she went away for what, 3 days?
It was a competition.
It was a competition. Yeah, she was a maths in primary, and she was about what, 8, 9 years old? 8, 9 years old. I would think, oh, how is she going to take care of herself and all of that? And so from that point, so I just said, okay, God, she's your child, and you're going to take care of her. And that really gave so much of assurance. So I also learned that when I'm creating this thought in my mind, it's just not me getting assurance and calm down or whatever, but it also, that energy travels to her as well. She's also not going to remember me, oh, what will happen, my mom, anything about family. She's enjoying her own few days in that maths day out. Isn't
it was a competition.
It was a
There's lots of
competition.
work
So
going
I
on
don't know
there.
about competition. It was something I know you went out for a maths day out or a holiday.
Yeah, I did enjoy it.
She enjoyed. I'm sure you can speak about it later. So the point what I was highlighting here is that first, my mind, keeping it clear, having assurance, no questions, and that could happen, of course, by remembering God. I would say that. And the same assurance, even when I have myself, then that travel to her as well. So I just felt that.
Wow, I didn't know you did.
No, there will be many which would come up like that.
So I think it's really key to note that
Yeah.
thoughts have energy,
Yeah.
and that's the energy that comes out. Even though you think, "Oh, I'm not saying it; they'll never know." It's actually something that gets very much translated to the other person that you are thinking about and the people that are around you. So I think that's very interesting to learn about. Rithvik, what about yourself? Can you give us an example or a scenario where you've felt unstable and then used spirituality to stabilize yourself?
Yeah, I'm just thinking because I sort of touched on it in my previous example, but let me give you an example of when I did something that then made me unstable in the long run. So this again relates a bit towards I guess overworking the self, or in the sense that expectation that, okay, you know what, like I want to strive to do this, like this is the goal, but am I doing it step by step or steps? It's a bit like trying to run after an injury, but you shouldn't really. You should start to walk, and then if you try to run, then you're going to fall. So this example is I was once training to go on a hike with my uncle, and it was supposed to be it's supposed to be like a relatively dangerous hike, but a safe one because we had a guide. So anyways, while I was training, I decided to use an oxygen depth mask. And what that does is it reduces a tiny bit of oxygen as you're breathing, just so your body can get used to high altitude. And what happened was I used it for a week in like the first setting. And so obviously I didn't put it on the maximum setting right from the beginning because that's just too much. And like maybe 2 weeks later, I thought, oh, you know what? I can maybe hack this. Like this is pretty easy. So I just wanted to see a feel of. I think I put it on one of the higher settings.
The higher setting. Like
The high.
top.
Yeah, and so what happened was I thought everything was fine, and I was just at home, mind you. People say you get injured in the gym, but I was at home.
Just maybe in the garage.
I was just in the garden, and even in the outhouse where I had a pull-up bar. So I was just doing some exercises and just running, and then I was a bit adamant that okay, I'm not going to remove it. Like I'll just, because I'm out of breath. I know I'm out of breath, but I chose not to remove the mask and to catch my breath, and just chose to sit down and then catch my breath while just trying to breathe again and again. And I thought maybe that will help my lungs get better, right? Like in the sense, maybe eventually in a few minutes from now, my lungs will adapt. And what happened was I waited for a little bit and I decided, okay, I'm going to remove it now. So because I feel okay. But as I removed it, I noticed a huge burden lift off from my chest, which is my lungs that were trying to get the air that it needs, but I wasn't giving it. And then I thought everything was okay. But you see, I wasn't really listening to my body. I like mentally I was thinking, okay, yeah, it's gonna be okay. I mean, yeah, that was a little bit scary, but I think I'm okay. And then the following week, I think I went on for like running, but regularly, and I could feel even though I could feel something different, like something was off, but I chose to ignore it. So my body was giving me signs, but I chose to ignore it, thinking, oh, it's fine. Tomorrow I'll wake up and it'll be better. But in fact, what happened was that week where I stressed my organs a bit more due to whatever exercise or running or whatever, that actually made it worse. So because of that, my rib tendons inflamed. And little did I know that this won't just last a few weeks, months, but it lasted about 2 years, 2.5 years. And of course, with those 2.5 years, it got better because initially it was very bad in the sense there was sharp chest pain, but like later on, it was getting better, and I could still feel though that there was just like while breathing or while exercising that something wasn't right. So yeah, maybe some of you might know, but rib injuries do take time to heal, and this was a rib tendon inflammation. And then I thought to myself, I know people were telling me like they were like, oh wait, he's not going gym or that kind of thing, and so then so then like, oh, definitely I realized, I should have taken it slow. But it's actually like when you realize as time really goes that, oh, I had a choice to make at that moment, but I didn't. And it was only after a while you realize, okay, this whole thing could have, been different. Like this whole, like say last 2.5 years, for example. And so then, in that moment, you kind of go into a bit of spiral. Like it didn't happen like a few months later, maybe even a year later, right? When I was slowly getting back into training and doing some small things, I just started maybe blaming myself. Like, why did I do this? And that was the period of instability, thinking where I could have been if I had made the right choice earlier. And that's when I noticed, hang on a moment, let me not think that way. Let me shift my perspective a little bit, because it's this experience that I've received now which will only make me a better person. Like, yes, that's what happened in the moment, but perhaps now I'm closer for caring for myself, or I'm better at bringing that stability to myself than I was before. Because earlier I ignored some signs, like say the body was telling me, right? And it's so interesting because sometimes when you have like an image in mind or something that you want to do, like it's good to be tunnel vision, but it's also good to, from my experience, pay attention to your peripheral vision and just to have a look around, whether that is your body or your surroundings, and just that aspect can be applied to literally anything. Like when you're driving, like checking mirrors, right? We always check before we change lanes or that kind of thing. So in my case, how did I then come back? Well, we all know muscle memory exists. Like it really does. So it's easier for your body to get back into certain exercises compared to as if you started from scratch. It's very similar to, it's a bit like, so I've been studying maths from a young age, right? So if I don't practice maths for a while, but if I go back into my notes and just to review my notes, it will come back to me quicker. So the bottom line is I'm not starting from scratch. And so I took it step by step, and it started off with walking. But let me also say this. There was a moment where I wanted to see if I can still run for like 10 minutes, for example. So I definitely tried, and I couldn't. Like there was just this pain in my chest and I couldn't really do that. So then I decided to slow down. And really by slowing down, it made myself easier to see what I need to do to kind of bridge the gap. Because sometimes I noticed that it's not just about, oh, did I just run for 15 minutes? But it's how was I feeling during the run? Can I run a bit slower? And that brings me to what Rishika said about running. So she's been into running a bit earlier than me. It's been a few months for her. For me, you can say it's been a few weeks. But one piece of advice that she gave from her experiences, or rather many other people also that I know runners are also saying the same thing now, is run slower if you want to run faster. Because when you run slow, your body gets used to it. And once it's used to it, then now you have no choice but to just to speed up a little bit, because it's like walking. Like you can walk, but now you're just walking faster. So it becomes easier. Yeah, it's natural. It's like the next step. And I think that analogy can be used in literally everything, literally. Like whatever it is that you're trying to do or learn or yeah. So that's one way I came back and brought my stability back, is by taking smaller steps and to being kinder to myself, and not over expecting, or sometimes I want to just like just do like all of this that I've planned for the month, but like cover it now. So it's like slowing down myself, thinking, you know what, like what's the rush? And that's an important thing that I learned, is direction is more important than speed. And it's not like I didn't know it before, but it's only when I went through my experience which made me more grounded. And I think that was the speciality of me going through what I went through. It's realizing how important it is to slow down and to stay grounded in my own values, and then progress. And then I just let speed come naturally with the goal that I have in mind. Bless you.
Thank you. So that's a really good example. I think that really shows like the instability and how you came to stability. It just reminds me of like how everyone has their own threshold, and it's important to identify what that is. And without these experiences, you wouldn't know that this is your actual threshold. So I guess accepting and learning from those situations of instability really helps you be stable. So it's a bit of a paradox, but you can take it and learn from it. I guess there's time for me to share a quick example of where I have felt unstable and I've stabilized myself. So as I now reach my 20s, well, I am in my 20s, I find myself to be quite an emotional person. I don't know if the women can relate in this room, but I never was that emotional as a kid. I was quite like tomboyish, I guess. I was never like a girly girl or anything, but now I feel like I've become more emotional. My EQ has increased. And I find myself feeling all these like big emotions, which lead me to a bit of instability, I would say. And I think a very like simple example for myself where I feel unstable is when I've had a very long day at work and some not so very nice people to deal with, multiple meetings, and by the time I come home, and then I go to the gym, and then I come home, and I'm extremely tired. Just want to sit down, have some alone time, some downtime, and then I hear either mom or dad say something to me. And there's no like a specific phrase that they say or anything, but at that moment, it really feels, my emotions get heightened because I'm like, I've had such a long day. Like, why are they saying this to me? Like, and it really affects my mind, and that leads to a bit of instability. And it's not something that they have specifically said, or the way that they've said it. It's because my mind is feeling insensitive. It's already unstable after this long day. So at that point, I don't realize that I'm already now not feeling great. But I realized the next day, okay, maybe I shouldn't have reacted, or I shouldn't have gotten so angry about it. So I guess the first step for me is identifying, okay, I do actually feel a bit unstable. It's not normal for me to continue being angry, like, lashing out and stuff. So it's identifying, okay, this is how I feel. These are the emotions that are coming up within me, and this is how I'm getting triggered. And how do I find stability from this point? So I've identified this, and now my thing is, well, how can I take an action? Am I ready to take an action? Do I want to have a conversation with mom and dad of the specific thing that they've said? Or B, is it rooted elsewhere? Is this instability coming from something that I've already been thinking about? Is it coming from somewhere else that I'm unsure of myself? And so once I identify and go within, like my brother was saying, it's easier to then think about, well, actually, this is coming from the fact that I feel like I'm not doing enough. I need to be doing more. So when they said this one thing, it's obviously triggered and made like a chain reaction. So from there, how do we get to stability? It still feels like a long way away. Well, like again, Rithvik said, it starts from small steps. So what can I start doing for myself? What can I start practicing for myself? And how do I make sure that this spiral doesn't keep happening? So I guess this instability comes from the fact that my cup was actually not that full, probably empty at that point. So let me now go back. Let me fill my cup and make myself stable and do something that I enjoy doing. So another thing that I enjoy doing is some skincare. I try to stay glowing. So I tried to do some skincare, something that I enjoy doing, um, something that helps me calm down, and also meditation. So that's something that I do before I sleep. And it doesn't have to take up a long time. It's just like a 1 minute meditation that you can find on YouTube that just really calms your mind down, relaxes your thoughts. And it's actually something that I recommend to my friends as well, because a lot of them, they're still at university or they're working jobs and they feel really stressed out, anxious, and that's quite common. Well, how do we slow that down? Let me listen to something that allows my mind to relax, allows my mind to go to a safe space. So after I listen to that 1 or 2 minute meditation, I do feel grounded. I do feel a bit better. And so once I feel stable, I can then go and have stable conversations. Because if I try and talk to my parents in that state, they'll be like, what is wrong with her? Like, she's being grumpy again. Like, that's going to be the reaction. It's not going to be, it's not going to help them understand. So once I get to that state, I could then stabilize myself. I can then address situations. I can then create solutions. So that's my understanding of stability. I guess it's a bit similar to what you guys have said as well. And I guess we can go on to the last question. How do we, now that we have poured this this love into a cup, we filled it ourselves, we've poured it, the surface is stable most of the time. How can we sustain it? How can we sustain it so that in the family, when people have empty cups, how can we fill that up and sustain the cup of love and try and keep it filled? Like you said, throughout the day, there's lots of things that go on. What's techniques that we can use to make sure that this love is sustained?
So, just reflecting on the question, what sustains me? So, what sustains me? That word we already touched upon, which was about just have some words and some do's and don'ts, I would say. So, what is that in do's? What should I have so that my cup is full? And what is the don'ts which I should not have in my dictionary of the day? So, if I see the do's, so do's would be that just always create an atmosphere. So, at home, let me not have um, comparisons, or let me not see that who has done this, whether you have done or whether you have not done, and all of that. So just let me keep and create that atmosphere, a balanced atmosphere at home, and rather than comparing issues that comes in the dots. And so another thing which has helped me is also not expecting, like I was saying, I've touched this word. So not having expectations about them. Okay, they will come and do this. They will come and do this. No. So if I really, because as you know, when I list my list to do things, then sometimes you have too much list on your to-do list as at and family, or even if you're a student, even if you're working somewhere, you have a lot to do. And that's where I feel that the instability comes, because we want to do all of that, and maybe even sometimes at one go, but which is not possible. So I prioritize. So that would be in my to-do list. Yes, let me look at the list and let me prioritize what is that I need to do first. Some can stay later as well, and there are some things which I would have to do it. So one thing would be prioritizing, and then creating and keeping the atmosphere, a peaceful atmosphere at home, And in the don'ts, I would not have expectations. It will come. It's not that it will not come for everyone. It will be ready saying that, oh, why can't she do this? Why can't he do this? Why is he not doing it? These type of questions. So when this come, how is that I'm going to handle? So that's one point. So let me just remove this particular sentence totally, even why, how, and all of these questions from my dictionary. If I have to, when I remove what I observed myself was, then I'm able to actually tell Rithvik very nicely, okay, see, I need some help in this. Can you help me? So it's a different tone. It's a different attitude. But if I say, oh, why can't you do this, Rithvik? You have got so much of time, and why are you not able to do this? So that's a different thing. So this tone changes.
I think just to add, like everything that we're saying sounds like really good advice, but it's actually really hard to practice. So all of these situations are things that we as a family do face. So in no means are we like any sort of perfect family. These are issues that come up on a daily basis, but it's something that we do reflect on and then try to practice. So it's like it goes up and down. It's like a little bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But like Mom is saying, these are things that we do see in practice, and
Yeah.
the change of tone, the way that we say
Yeah,
things.
and so I've seen myself, like there's a change of tone. There's of course now even I can say about even anger as well. So recently it came in a spiritual saying that if you have overcome anger, that means you are winning everything. So I really love that particular sentence, and I promised, because I also sit in children's class, we practice meditation. So we literally put our hand here and said, we all promise that we will not get anger. And they all said, okay, what is out of 1 to 10 you get anger? Even children of, about 7 years old, 8 years old, they said, yes, I do get angry. How? On their siblings, my son, my brother, my sister. Okay, so let's all promise this, that we will not get anger. So that was one thing. And I think I'm succeeding in that. So that's one thing. So these are few things. So let me first practice myself. And this one particular, I would say, a self-respect, which has helped me from day one in my spiritual life was, it is Master Almighty Authority. So God is Almighty Authority. And as his child, as his creation, I also get the title that might is power, isn't it? And when I really practice that, I am Master Powerful, just like my spiritual parent, you can practice. This is a really magical word, I would say. And that has helped me a lot and empowering me and coming out of any type of low situations. And because my personality, since childhood, I was a very timid personality. I would not even come in front of my cousins to speak. So that was me.
And now you're here.
I'm here, yes, of course. Now, even my work area also, I face people and all of that. So it's really helped me that how, while remembering the ocean of power, how is that I'm also getting that power within me? It's actually built a lot of confidence in me too.
Yeah, I think also for those that might not believe in God, you can try and connect to a higher power or affirmations that help you feel stronger. And it's about entering that higher level of energy, so you can feel those affirmations and feel good about yourself.
So let's keep affirmations like readily. I would also say, if you want, you can keep in your house, in every room, a couple of affirmations, and just pick that up, and that would be there, and that will help to bring your level of energy, isn't it? And then your cup will be full all the time.
And that's a good way to sustain. What about you, Rithvik?
I think that there's a couple of things. I think, Mom, you touched on communication, and I think definitely that really does help, especially when you said about no expectations. But having that communication to like put your words in a way in which can be received nicely to the other person in the family also really does help. And I think for me, just to answer a bit of the second question as well, just to finish off, is I think knowing myself really helps me stay grounded and stable. And knowing myself also helps me sustain my cup of love. Because if I don't know myself, then how am I going to give love, right? I mean, I need to fill myself with love, and then only can I actually start spreading it and start giving it. And one thing that mom always used to say is charity begins at home. So like whatever it is, like keep the house clean, keep your room clean, and it's something I'm still working on, and it's a work in progress, which is what the beauty is, I think, you know, and because I think there are so many like ways to go about something, even cleaning, like whether it's I don't know, like working in a team, like covering different areas of the house, or even like yeah, when I clean my room, for example, I don't know, maybe I do something different and put like post-it notes and just like write things down, or something new for the month, or maybe this month I'm gonna try and I don't know, maybe learn an instrument, or even if it means like signing up for a like a 10K run or something, which seems impossible for me to do right now, by the way. So yeah, so it's like setting small goals, but yeah, being light and easy about it. I think that's what helps me stay stable, like for the cup not to fall, like being nice and light and easy about scenarios, and about yeah, just having that easygoing kind of you can say like virtue or value. Not to say being careless, but by being easygoing, it just means you don't take, I guess, criticisms or take things to heart, which affects my state of being. So, like, easily, like, say, going through one and coming out the other, because I know myself. And that's what helps me stay really grounded. Yeah.
How are you going to, how would you react to that if there's any criticism coming in front of you?
Yeah, I mean, criticism could be like it could be like a label, like just labeling me as, oh, like you're just not gonna do that, like you know, that kind of thing, right? But I know that that's something that I do, for example, and so that's when like my practice comes along too, where I take a step back and I'm thinking, okay, hold on a moment, let me deliver it in a way where you know the person, also like say yourself, sees that, you know, like, oh, okay, Rithvik is actually doing this task, for example. And so that's what I've seen to be productive, because there's no point just like, you know, and of course this doesn't happen all the time. Definitely, like my first thing would be maybe to just react and say, oh no, like yeah, I have done this task that you've asked me to do, for example. but but actually what happens is or rather what happened is I've observed that like say mum or whoever it is asking me, they're actually going through their own day as well, and they've had a tough day just like myself, for example. So I think for me it's like the acceptance and acknowledgement of um, the person, whoever it is in the family, just acknowledging and accepting them. And then whatever that is said to me, I do not take it to the heart, because I truly understand the essence of where they're coming from, right? And I mean, everyone's allowed to feel something. I can't say, oh, you can't feel like that. Even though that's not exactly what is happening. It's like a 6 and 9 problem. Like I see it's a number 9, but you're saying it's a number 6, so that's wrong. So similar
that's
to
really
that.
good, yes.
Yeah.
Acceptance and
Acknowledgement.
acknowledgement.
Acceptance and acknowledgement. Yeah.
That's excellent. Share and then we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess the final bit is, once you've like poured your cup of love and everything, how do we make sure that that we're keeping each other filled with love? Like if I see your cup is looking a bit empty, or mum's cup or dad's cup is looking a bit empty, once I'm stable with myself, and if my cup is full, I can then pour it into and make others feel like their cup is going to be filled as well. So one of the things that I think I do pretty well is every time anyone comes home, I give them a big hug, regardless of how I'm feeling or how my day went. I will always welcome them with lots of love. And even if we had a fight or even if we had an argument, the hug will still come. And this is something that actually my grandma used to make us practice when we were younger. So we moved to the UK when I think we were 5. I was Yeah, I was 3, I think. So, and this is when mum and dad had already moved to London. So we weren't actually very close with them. We were very close with our grandma. And so to kind of build that relationship, my grandma would always say, make sure you say, have a nice day when they leave for work. And when when they've come back, you have to welcome them and say, welcome home. So that's something that I always practice. And because my family pours so much love into me and also their thoughts as well, it's something that I can then give to whoever I interact with. So I guess that's how we kind of keep the cup full and keep it going. Is there anything that you guys think is good to keep other family members' cup full, filled with
So I'll just share an example of
Time
the time.
is
Yeah.
love? I
7:45.
think we can take
Oh,
So
2 more minutes.
should we touch the topics in meditation? Like whatever we would
I
like
think
to
we can
fill.
take 2 more
we
minutes.
can take a minute each. On that,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So
Okay. So I'll just be a bit quick. How do I sustain and spread the love in the members of the family? Something that I recently did is I just got like a celebrations box. It didn't have any chocolate inside it. It was empty, but I just labeled it phone box because I realized like when I used to do shift work, I used to be off at odd times of the week. So everyone's busy working and I'm off. And when they're back, they're all tired, but they're all on their phones. So I was like, okay, you all put your phones in the box, and then it's just for like an hour. Like so, then we'll see, like what to do then, because no one's really speaking that much in that period. So I was just like, okay, cool, let's do that. And then I think a couple of us found it hard to do, but in the end, we ended up doing that, and I think that kind of raised awareness with each other. So we didn't need to do it as much after that point, but it was just like a little, I guess, giving us that shift in perspective that, okay, this is something that we should try. Like, is digital detox, literally be away from the phones and give more time for each other,
Communication,
for
connection.
communication, or whatever it is. Yeah, really gives us that understanding of how important it is to do that.
How do you pour love? Cooking. Okay, she wants to do it in the meditation. Okay, so now we're going to take you through a quick meditation commentary. For those that haven't done meditation before, it's very easy. You don't have to worry about how to do it. All you have to do is relax and allow the voice that is talking to guide your mind and your thoughts. And during this time, it might drift to other places, but try and concentrate on what is being said. And usually we do open-eyed meditation, but you can also close your eyes if that helps you concentrate.
Yeah.
So we're going to begin with relaxing the body first. So you can choose to focus on a single point, or you can close your eyes. So take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. So as you breathe in, allow yourself to relax and release any tension. Take a deep breath in and relax. So you can start by relaxing the muscles in your face. Relax your eyebrows, your cheeks, unclench your jaw. Relax your shoulders, allow them to droop, and the rest of your body. Taking a deep breath in and in this moment, I am at peace. I am a point of energy, a light filled with peace. Going within, I visualize myself to be a sparkling light in the middle of my forehead. This light is filled with so much love and peace. My original state. And in this moment, I am completely happy. I forget and detach myself from this body, release any sort of tension or things that might happen. Now I allow myself to go upwards.
As I travel upwards, above this roof and going up, leaving this place above Wembley, above this country, as I travel through the sky. I see a very peaceful, orangish red color region. This looks entirely a different world. This as land of peace. I, the being, am experiencing this peaceful state. And now I see a very bright star, the brightest of all. And when I'm seeing this brightest star, who is the supreme energy, supreme, I fill my cup with unlimited peace. And as I fill myself, I feel complete and I start my journey to come
Feeling recharged. I take this energy that I've received from the divine and I make my way down back to this world that I live in. And I notice that I feel overflowing with love that comes along with peace and happiness. And so let me give this divine energy to everyone around me, to the rest of the world. And slowly, as I'm coming back into this room, just notice how my body feels warmer, how the energy is flowing. And let me just take a moment to just let the energy rest. And notice that it is this energy that I need, and how important it is for me to reconnect and recharge myself. And now, if your eyes are closed, gently open your eyes, and now take the energy and just gently rub your hands. Feel the warmth, and you can put it on your face, on your shoulders, and on your legs. And you can spread the energy out with a big stretch as well. Thank you, everyone.
So you're going to join me in thanking. It was so beautiful. Just to recap a few points that I made a note. I mean, there's many more, but some of them. So I like the word you started off with, Akshay Patra. Yeah. So that's the early morning hours, to begin your day with something so positive, and throughout the day you'll be always be there. Something will be there, and that's kind of a story about how the food never ran out, and so here the energy or the positivity will not run out. And some of the other points I took: run slower, then faster, especially if you've been injured. Then you start off with walking instead of running right away. So really being practical in your approach, and direction is more important than speed. And to understand your threshold, small steps at a time, let there be stability. And I really like these last few things you all talked about. Hug in immaterial of how you're feeling, and even if you've had a little fight or a quarrel with them. And also the digital detox that you mentioned, and meditation. So it was very, very useful tips. Yes, like was mentioned, that no family is perfect, but you saw how there was a lot of love and respect in material of generation gap, and see what meditation can help you with. There is that love, and there is that detachment, and you are free from expectations, because it's expectations that spoils everything, isn't it? So a few things to make you aware that tomorrow and day after, 5:30 to 7, we have overcoming anger. Anybody who has problem with anger? No. Right? But this is in-house event. Yeah. So it's a course, and both days are kind of consecutive, Wednesday and Thursday, 5:30 to 7 p.m. And also every Monday and Thursdays, we have 7 to 7:30 meditation, both online and in person. And our next Tuesday evening talk is again about marking another day, about being free from addiction. So from addiction to revival. And our speaker is going to be Nina Buchanan, and she's an expert in all these things. So you're in for a treat. And project for the week, creativity to reinvent your life. Right? So everything that was shared was nicely done in a creative. I like the way you all did one led into another. So creativity even in meditation, and happiness unlimited. Yeah. So what is family about? Love, happiness, respect, and much more. Thank you so much. And we wish you a happy journey together, till however long. Right. So thank you all, and thank you to the online viewers too. Yeah, safe journey home.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.